I'd like to welcome everyone to the Comedy Factory Comedy Chat. I got a great guest on tonight, old friend of mine, known him about probably 25 years. Worked with him many times, musical comedy impressionist, performs all over Boston, all over New England, all over the country. Dave Andrews. Dave, welcome to the Comedy Factory Chat. What's up, brother?
Hello, John. One of the great guys, not only in comedy, just a great guy, John Perrotta.
I thought you were talking about yourself.
Well, we're comic. We do that anyway. All we do is talk. All we do is tell everyone how great we are. Because if we don't, we never get booked.
So what have you been up to, Dave? You were busy, and then the pandemic hit, and like everybody else.
Yeah, it's like somebody gave me a swift kick, you know where. You know, but what are you going to do? I'm getting the government money.
Yeah.
A little bit. It'll run out in like, I think a couple of weeks, you know, but it's not enough. And, you know, you get used to working. One guy said, New Jersey agent, he's telling me, Dave, you worked for over 30 years, you worked 100 hours a week. I said, I did. He goes, yeah. When you think about all the time on the phone, all the time driving to the gig, all the work you did, the stage. I mean, there were times when combining music and comedy where I was doing 30 to 40 days in a row, you know, I mean, not killing my, you know, even Sundays, like a nursing home, and then boom, you know, no time off. But, you know, you do what you gotta do.
You do the clubs, you do in Boston. What were you doing in Boston? You had a couple of nights a week in Boston.
Here, I got this place at Green Dragon. I went there last week and played for them. And then I spoke with the owner this week and was going to play, and they shut down live entertainment.
Really?
In the city, so there's nothing going on until further notice.
Is that in Boston? In the city
of
Boston?
Yeah, city of Boston.
Wow.
You know, when the pandemic spiked and stuff.
Yeah. Because how often were you playing there?
I was playing that 2 nights a week at this place, the Green Dragon, and then I was playing 2 afternoons a week down at Patios, but I knocked off the Sunday afternoon and I started going to church, John. I took Sundays off, and I did start going to church.
And where's Patios? Where's Patios in Boston?
Patio, it's right near the Green Dragon, if you know where that was.
Oh yeah.
Jessica Cassiano did an open mic there forever. I don't know if you ever did that. And yeah, I think she was still doing it, although they might have knocked it off. But she had the longest running open mic in Boston. You know, she even had you beat there, John.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long was it going? Quite a while.
20 years, something like that. You know. Yeah. But the you know, the staff. That's the thing with comedy and entertainment, especially in a place when the crowd changes up. It's fine because you got new people in there. If you're in a resort town, when I played in the Cape, in the beginning, the staff is like, "Oh, he's great. We love him." And after they know all your jokes, and you know, they get kind of like, "Oh yeah, him again. Oh, here we go." And they walk around, they start mumbling your punchlines. You know how it is. When you're working there a long time, they kind of, you know, familiarity breeds contempt. But
yeah. When do we meet, Dave? We met around 95, I'm guessing, somewhere around there. It's been about 25 years, probably.
You know where I met you? I'm trying to remember. It was Curly's Pub in Taunton, Mass. You were booking the infamous Teddy Bergeron, and I was fairly friendly with him at the time. And I happened to go down there, and he did what Teddy Bergeron does on a show. The night you were there, and I got to know you. I don't know if I went on stage, but I got to know you. And then next thing I know, I was doing some gigs for you. But it was Curly's Pub. I used to play there as an entertainer, you know, just singing in the lounge. And she started doing comedy. I said, "Oh, I do some comedy." And she said, "Oh, it's John Perrotta." So I came down, and there you were, just you and Eddie Galvin and Joe Cabral. And
so you remember the first time you met me? I didn't remember that. That
was where it was, and there were many times I did gigs for you, where you always had everything. What do they call that? Not mimeographed. You were famous for having those pieces of paper, but there was plastic on both sides of them all the time.
My flyers you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Flyers, though. Not just the flyers. I got some of them. Remember, laminated.
Laminated, yeah.
Yeah. Three big comedians. I was always one of them. Musical and comedy impressionists. We had a lot of fun. Especially
Yeah,
we were doing shows on a Monday night there at Joseph's. Who gets a gig on a Monday night?
I think we did it there a couple of years. Like dinner shows was a couple of years.
We know how to eat, Johnny. Me and you were good eaters.
Oh yeah.
We were
You lost a lot of weight through the years. How much have you lost?
I did. I ballooned up to 300, and I got these stick legs. So I lost. Right now I'm at about probably 90, 95 of what my highest was. Although I went to Weight Watchers, my highest was not really my highest because when I went in, I had like a week to get ready to go in, so I lost a little going in. I was actually a little heavier, I think, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, yeah.
When you know you're under the gun, you kind of behave.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I lost over 100 pounds, and I'm in the Fat Guy Hall of Fame. But I'm not in your league. You've taken it off and put it on more than most people.
I gain it, I lose it, I gain it, I lose it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, like I said, one comedian, I was with him, he cracked up. I was on a show where I was talking to you, and you said to me, "Come on down early, Davey. I'll buy you a combination plate." He thought that was the funniest thing. I'll buy you a combination. And I was like, yeah, combination plate. That sounds good. Spare ribs, maybe a couple of chicken wings.
Well, we did stitches in the mall. I remember I used to eat a steak sometimes before the show. They had good food over there. I had a giant steak before the gig. It was crazy.
That was a beautiful thing, that place. It didn't last long. That guy was like a huge fan. He thought I was the greatest comedian ever. I was like, it was me and Paul D'Angelo and maybe one other guy that he was. It only lasted a year and a half, but I remember getting $300 a set, and I was doing like 7 or 8 sets a week, and I did that like 3 or 4 times. I thought I was Don Rickles for crying out loud. The money I was making. Yeah, I was doing like Saturday night I was making 600 Friday, Saturday, so I was making a fortune, and I was making less than half that headlining 6 nights a week at the Connection. What was that? God, I shouldn't even say that, but it's true. The guy was a plastic surgeon. I didn't want to get him in trouble and feel like he was overpaying me, but eventually it didn't last long.
Yeah, we were there a year and a half, 2 years. I had the open mic on Wednesday, and then they feature me. Sometimes I'd have a feature spot on Thursday, 2 feature spots Friday, 2 feature spots Saturday, and 1 on Sunday. So even back then, I was making good money. I'd have like 6, 7 shows on like 5 nights. It was pretty good.
I remember seeing the sign they had there. They had a chalkboard. I couldn't read the whole thing when I first got there. And it said, "Musical comedy genius." And I was coming down like, wow, who's playing here? I was, musical comedy genius, Dave Andrews. I'm like, wow, I don't know if I can fit that bill. The only thing bigger than that was one time I was doing a gig up in Vermont. This guy used to book us when I would do the music thing. I played a ski resort for like a month. I'd go up there.
Yeah.
A whole month. And they had the big sign out front, the entertainment, who was playing there. And the guy booked me. He says, "You play guitar, right?" He says, "Do you play the piano?" I go, "Yeah, a little bit." "Okay. You play the piano." I told him a little bit. He gets up, the big sign on there, "Tickling the Ivories tonight, playing the piano, Dave Andrews." And I'm like, oh, I said, play the guitar. There was a piano. I had to go over and at least play one song, and I could barely play without looking at the thing and being nervous and going, ting, 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 ting. I play one song, put that piano down, put it away for the whole month. And I just played guitar. Yeah. And we would go up to it was a good gig. Go up to the mountain every night. A lot of fun. But it's different when you're doing it. When it's all you're doing, you got to be kind of a nut.
Yeah, you did comedy. You did comedy for. I worked at the prison and did comedy. You were just comedy, so you were hustling. You did nursing homes during the day. You did patios. You did the clubs. You really. I would talk to you. I'm driving to this gig. I got to go to this gig. I get this gig tonight. I'm like, how do you do it?
I don't know.
You were
I was
hustling.
part insane. I was kind of a little bit of bragging, maybe, probably bragging. I'm working a lot, but it's oftentimes not how much. It's not how much you work. It's how much you make,
Yeah,
Driving
yeah.
3 hours, $75, or whatever the hell I was doing, But I remember I was like, I was your number one guy there for a while,
Yeah, well, I use you a lot.
You did use me. Those Joseph shows were fun though. Up the stairs, and like I say, I don't know what he did, but he knew something about putting a show together and putting food together. And
I was at Joseph's restaurant in Cumberland.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is now. Where is he now, Joe Ferrier?
He's got that place in Rehoboth. In fact, I was going to do a thing for him. He wanted me to walk around with my guitar and break ovaries, break balls and sing. I said, yeah, I can do that. I had to do that, and I was going to do it, and with the combination with a paint night, and then this thing hit, and him. I mean, he's probably poor guy. He's probably losing his shirt over there.
Yeah, with this pandemic. Yeah, who knows if he got through this yet? A lot of places. I heard another place in Providence closed. Some places they're not going to open back up. Because of this.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, it's even, like one of my entertainer friends down here. I said that to him. He said, "Oh no, we'll be good, Dave, because there's all rich people down here, and they want to feel young, and they want music. And me and you are only one guy, and we're cheap. We can go in and just do one guy." I said, "Hey, that's pretty good. I like your style. If you get plenty of gigs, just give me the extras." But I'll give it a piece. But that's his mentality. He's thinking that there'll still be something for guys like us. But I think everything has really kind of shifted, and I'll be 61 next week. I want to keep doing it, but the fact is, there's a certain demographic. I don't know if you feel that way. You get in some places, and of course, crowds always love you. You just like, if you're too old, you're the uncle. If it's your age group, they're funny. If they're real young kids, they like you too. I mean, talking you personally.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I do a young crowd, and it's just a real dirty crowd and real young, I just I feel out of place almost. I feel like my time has come almost in some gigs, and then I'll have a nice gig and I'll feel better about it.
Yeah.
But it does happen. I think it's your fan base shifts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have like 20-something. They get a kick out of guys like me and you. Look at this guy. As long as you keep it cool. And I've mellowed out as I've gotten older, and so have you. We're like a fruit. Now we're tasty. Before we were like a pear. You bite it. Oh.
I always liked your style act. You had all the old one-line jokes and played the guitar and sang a song. And
well, me too. That's why I do it.
You did great, man. I always enjoyed booking you because you always came through.
It's like a ball player, or like an athlete. We all know some guys get up there and for whatever reason, maybe they just don't have it that night, but they kind of mail it in, or they don't try, and I always try, and I always try to feel like no matter who's on with me, it's a show. If I'm not the top guy, my goal is not to go up there and smoke the other guy unless he's a jerk or something. Yeah. And it's not to smoke everybody. It's just to make people have a good time. As I used to tell one guy, I said, if I had all the answers, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be a big star.
We had a lot of great shows though. We were in I put a lot of great shows together. You, Stephanie Peters, and a lot of other. I always overdid it on my shows. I always like to give people a lot, So I'd have you, me, Stephanie, maybe 5-6 guys, and we'd kill it. You know what I mean? People would.
Nobody works a crowd better than you. Nobody.
There's a few probably. There's a few out there.
No, not the way you do it. When you're really on, and it's not even a character. It's just you.
It's just me nuts.
Yeah. When it comes out, it's good. I mean, it's always good. But when it's really, it's like hysterical. You know?
But one thing about this pandemic, I've had a couple of guys helping me out. I met a young comic in New Hampshire, Nick LaBouffe, and Mike Cronin, and they've been helping me with I got a YouTube channel now, putting videos on there, and Nick has been he filmed me a couple of times before the pandemic, and some old videos he's been putting stuff, they've been putting on my YouTube channel, so I'm trying to build up my Comedy Factory page, and, you know, while we're out, when I work, and try to build things up, you know what I mean? So hopefully.
You are so good with that. You are so good with the young guys and the young ladies, and just getting people in. People like you. I don't have that. I don't know. It's my personality. I just don't do that. But that's why you're successful. Not only are you a good actor, you're working it. You're always plugging. You're hustling, and you're a good guy. You get your ego out of the way, and you just get to know people. You like people.
Yeah, I mean, I got in with helping a new comic show when I came back in the early '90s, and I just stayed involved with open mics almost the whole 29 years until the pandemic. I stayed involved, you know.
Yeah, well, you still do the connection, right? Are you still there?
Well, right now.
No, but I mean, with this, right?
I was doing it till the pandemic hit, and now I got to see. They're only doing like weekend shows with headliners. I'm not sure if when the showcases are going to come back. I'm not sure.
How many years have you done that? Years, like decades almost, right?
Yeah, the connection. Yeah, it was probably 12 years. 12 years.
That's like an eternity. That's like being married for 50 years, you know? being in entertainment and being married for 50 years, let alone nobody even lasts 10 years in entertainment.
I mean, the Asia Grill, I booked shows there for 14 years about that. Yeah. And I ran into the owner a few weeks ago, and he said, until there's a vaccine, no comedy, no karaoke. Charlie's a great guy, Asia Grill, but he doesn't want any entertainment till a lot of places until they find a vaccine. Some of the rooms I booked, they want to do it. Eventually, they told me no more this year. So it's kind of hit or miss, you know. It depends. We'll have to see how it goes, you know. But I mean,
well, the thing you do is you got a brand, you know, too, and you got the people. You got a crowd, you know. People know, and you're always mixing the shows up. And I would think you get a lot of the same people come back, you know, and they come to you. And that's
the thing is, I do a lot of dinner shows, Dave, like you know, and that's a problem because a lot of them were buffets. I don't know which way that's going to go. If they're going to do sit-down dinners eventually, the dinner shows are going to be tough right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Lemongrass, I was there. I've been there about 7 years. That place, I had you there, Lemongrass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that place was going so good. It was the first room I had. I literally had people from past shows. I'd get a text, John, it's Joe so-and-so. I want 6 tickets to the next Lemongrass show, August 27th. Yeah. They were texting me the tickets. The room was doing phenomenal. It was unbelievable. It was Spiritos, another room. We moved over to the Kelly Gazzaro post. He moved there, and
I did Spiritos one New Year's Eve for you too.
Yeah, you did a New Year's Eve, and we were getting sellouts over there. So the dinner shows, when the pandemic hit, and we were hitting it. All the dinner shows were doing awesome. Asia Grill was not really a dinner show, but most of the people went. They would eat the Chinese food. So Asia Grill, we did another place, Venue 131 in Cumberland, and I did 2 shows there, and they sold out. Yep. So the dinner shows were really, really hot. You know what I mean?
You always do the dinner shows, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking all the years we did something at a beach bar down in Matunic. Did you have a beach bar down there in the summer? Like it was on the water.
I think you're talking about we did the Ocean Mist.
Yeah.
The Ocean Mist, and the owner was a cool guy. I forget his first name, but
Santos. Frank Santos was involved in that place too, I think, wasn't he? Or not?
Not in that place, I don't think.
No.
No.
Yeah, but all kinds of stuff, you know, over the years. I mean, yeah, Curly's Pub, that's where it was.
Yeah, that's where we met. What are some of the acts you worked with through the years? You don't have to say if you like them or not, but some of the guys you worked with through the years, like worked with a lot of Boston guys.
Yeah,
a lot of the older Boston guys that are well
Yeah,
known. I
I've
know
been
you
on
work.
stage. I've been up with most of them. You know, I mean, even the guys like Steve Sweeney, and the only guy I don't know very well is Lenny Clarke. Although I know Mike, and you know Mike pretty well. Lenny, I don't know very well, but you know, I worked with all of them guys. Steve Sweeney, Don Gavin, at one time or another, either on fundraisers or in clubs, and you know, my act is different though, doing the guitar thing, you know. So I'm kind of always, if they're doing a headliner, they don't have me, you know.
Yeah, I hadn't worked with Lenny, and then I think it was last year. I wound up in 2017. I worked the whole weekend with him, and
Yeah, you told me all about it. It was
whole
great.
weekend, and then I worked with him. The Connection last year, they had the Dirty Show with Lenny Clarke, Christine Hurley, and Jackie the Joke Man, and Mike Clarke had me host that. That was an awesome night. I was really happy with my set, and everybody killed. That was one of the best shows I was ever a part of.
Did you do the Kowloon? You never did the Kowloon in the old days, did you?
Never did the Kowloon, but Stephanie Peters and I got hired for a fundraiser. But from what I understand, some of the clubs book me, you know how it is, David. Some don't like the crowd work. So
Yeah.
I have certain club owners. They
I'm not
tell me
even
right
talking,
out. They won't
I'm
book
talking
me.
the old Kowloon, like years.
No, I never worked the old. No, I never did.
Really sound like an old guy, but Billy Martin.
I met Billy Martin at Nick's Comedy Stop in the early '90s.
Yeah. I was just looking through some old stuff, you know, with all this time, you're cleaning out things, and I pulled out an old thing. It was on a Annette Pollock show. Headliner, Dave Andrews. Feature, Bill Burr. I wanted to blow it up.
Not many times Bill Burr's going to open for you, right?
Billy Burr, he was like, just a kid.
I just saw his movie. He's in a movie that's out, The King of Staten Island. So with this Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live, Bill Burr had an awesome role. He had a big part. He had a big part in the movie. He was awesome.
How old? He's younger than us. I know that. I mean,
he's got to be about 51 now, I'm guessing.
Really? Wow.
51, 52. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when he came out, he had bushy red hair, and did some open mics with him and
any shows with him. Yeah, I know he loves you, and he threw you that nice bone. You had a nice show with him. It was great.
Yeah, that was a big gig in New Hampshire.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I tell everybody, I've been doing this 29 years. Yeah. The three biggest months I had were August, September, and October 2017. Tammy Pescatelli, I had met her a while back. She had me do the Friars Club in New York City. I had a great set, and then two weeks later, I got a text. I look, who's this? You want to open for me in New Hampshire? Who's this? I'm looking. It's Bill Burr. I almost had a stroke. Then I go do 2 shows that night, 2,000 people a show, and then about a month later, Johnny Peasy calls me. I did a whole weekend with Lenny Clarke.
Yeah.
And, that was like an awesome. I figured, wow, these are 3 awesome months. Maybe I'm going to turn a corner. Something's going to happen. And that was it. Back to being John Perrotta. That was it.
Well, I've done opening. I've opened for Huey Lewis a couple times. I opened for Casey and the Sunshine Band, and it's a fun gig, you know. I'm trying to think who else. You know, other Lewis Black down there at Stitches. Remember that Stitches room the night there was the bachelor party, and I think you were on the show, and the guys were really out of control. They're all smoking cigars. You might have been on, or whatever. And Dana was like freaking out.
Yeah, I was there. I remember.
Dave, get Dave, hurry up, get Dave.
Dana was there. She was zipping all around.
Hurry up, get Dave. He can handle him. I'm like, gee, thanks. I'm gonna come out. The room was tough to do anyway. It was super noisy. You couldn't get anybody's attention. And then on top of it, you had a bunch of guys who could have cared less about any of us. You know how those shows are.
Yeah. Sometimes the room was great and the crowd was great, and then other times it was like, which I was glad I was a feature, so I only had to do 25, 30 minutes. That's a tough room to do 45, 50 minutes.
It was only a year and a half, but oh boy, if that thing lasted, I mean, the money was great and the food was great. I think the guy was
the
a
owners
chef,
were
right?
great. I know Jeff was the doctor, and there was the real estate developer. I forget his name. He was a great guy too. He was a hot ticket. He used
And the
to tell me.
chef was a big time.
The chef was a cool guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I forget his.
Oh yeah, you're breaking up. There you go. Oh yeah, yep. No, I don't know who he was, but the food was really good, and yeah, it just. I wish it lasted.
Yeah, and
Probably didn't last because they were overpaying guys like me.
had the
I only get
Castle.
2,100 a week.
Yeah, Castle Theater. Sometimes you did that, right?
I remember that.
Sometimes it was nuts. I'd do the first show and feature at Stitches on a Friday. I'd leave in that parking garage, which was a nightmare. Go over to the Castle, which wasn't too far. I'd go up and do a set. I'd have a show going there. Then I'd go back in that parking garage trying to find a spot and park and bumper to bumper traffic. It'd be like around December, and then get in there and then do another set. It was crazy.
No, yeah, you were holding down a full-time job the whole time. No wonder why you always took a nap. But you were always fresh. You were always like a great. You have the best phone machine voice too. When you promote your shows, it just sounds like it's the greatest. It's like ring them, Bonner and Bailey. Today we have shows. It just sounds great. They should hire you for like a restaurant, or you got a really good voice for that stuff. Did you ever do it for radio? Did you ever do radio ads?
No. The only thing I did.
Putting your own ad radio.
Yeah, I did. I did a few times. I did radio ads, and I did my own. I went in and recorded it myself, and it came out pretty good.
Yeah.
But I found radio. Didn't get so much off the radio. I got more off certain newspapers I'd advertise in back in the day. I get more than others, so I had to find what worked. You know what I mean? But the radio was kind of hit or miss. Radio was hit or miss.
Well, you were never afraid to take a shot. You were definitely had the gambler's mentality.
Yeah, I was kind of like a gambler with the comedy. Yeah.
You ain't afraid to lose, because you didn't always win, man.
Nah, I had some. Yeah, I had some nights where I lost because I took the door a lot of times. So a lot of guys wouldn't do that. So that's why I had so many rooms going.
When I promoted a show, I was much more happy with, if I had a budget and could just get, $600, and if the place was making money, even if they made $5,000, good for them. They're happy. They're going to do another show, so I got another chance to make $600. But you know what I mean. But it's so hard today. There's so much competition. There's so many people at your heels, and it's kind of why I started doing the music more. Plus, I don't have the energy I used to have.
Yeah.
I mean, I do and I don't. I'm a little smarter. I like to think I am.
Why don't you do a song now, Dave? Do a song now. Tell a couple of one-liners.
What, are you interested in me? I'm gonna get romantic. I can't look at you and sing a love song. It's a Japanese song. It's called Tune In. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know what I'm gonna sing. We'll do my Louie Armstrong.
I love that. I love that one. I love that Louie Armstrong.
When I was in college, I did a paper on Louie Armstrong.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a B- on it. I remember that. He didn't like my writing, but I read a bunch of books on him. He liked to smoke weed.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah.
Our city's great. Red roses too. I see them bloom. For me and you. And I think to myself,
what a wonderful world.
all the colors of the rainbow are pretty in the sky. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They're really singing. I love Johnny Perrotta too. I hear babies cry. And I think to myself,
it's a wonderful life with John Perrotta. Yes, it is. It's a great life. We've had a lot of fun. Wasn't always easy. We always ate good. Davey, help yourself. There's a free. Have some more, Davey. What a wonderful world. Oh, yay.
About the gold? About I like the one you do about the Monkees. That song.
The Monkees? Oh yeah. Then I saw her face. She's a golden retriever. Is that the one?
I always like that.
My son's actually getting a golden retriever.
Reminded me of some of my ex-girls.
Yeah. You never had a girlfriend, did you?
Nah, not me.
Yeah, you don't like girls.
It would have been better if I didn't.
Yeah. We can't change that. It's a good thing. It's a normal, natural thing to be attracted to the opposite sex.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Father Dave. All right. Oh, we're getting old. How old are you, John? Are you old?
62. I got a year on you. I got over a year and a half on you. 62.
You was in the Navy, right?
I was in the Navy.
Young man. Yeah, you were in the Navy.
4 years. And I was getting old. I was getting old, and they were trying to re-enlist me, believe it or not. I was an operations specialist.
They wanted John Perrotta to re-up.
They wanted me. I was a radar operator. It was a critical rate. It was 1980. The bonus to sign up for 4 more years was $16,000. It's a lot of money back then.
Are you kidding
1980.
me? That's really...
Yeah, so they offered me $16,000. They said, where do you want to go? We'll send you anywhere you want. So I was from Rhode Island. I said, how about shore duty in Newport, Rhode Island? A week later, they come back. They got orders. John Perrotta, shore duty, Newport, Rhode Island, at the Officers War College, being an assistant to the professors that teach the naval officers, you know. So now I had that. I had $16,000. They're going to send me to Newport. I'm trying to decide what to do. We had been to 25 countries in 3 years. I was having just a blast.
There were no girls in those countries, right?
Oh, no.
Okay.
And then my ship was going to Rio de Janeiro, right? A South American cruise. When am I going to go to South America? So now I asked, can I sign up for 4 months? And that way I can think about re-enlisting. I can go on a cruise with my buddies. They said, sure. So I signed a 4-month extension. My last port was Rio de Janeiro, which was just out of this world. Not so much now with the virus, but I went to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Ecuador, Colombia. I went to Peru. We went out to Machu Picchu. I mean, I saw so much of the world, you know. And I was getting. What's that, Dave?
That was just 4 months. A 4-month hit. You did all that.
I was on that ship. I had gone to radar school. I was on one ship. Then I went to radar school. Then I was on that ship. In about 3 years, I saw 25 countries. 3 years and 4 months. So 25 countries. And Egypt was amazing, going to the pyramids and all of that. So I definitely saw a lot of the world. And said I did the 4 months in Rio de Janeiro in South America. My time was up. The captain calls me up. I was going to be leaving. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. He said, you re-enlist. I will give you 30 days basket leave. That's like basket leave is like vacation, free vacation. If you re-enlist, he said, you go home for a month for free with pay. You come back to the ship. You'll have 3 years and 11 months left. We'll give you $16,000. And we'll send you to Newport for shore duty for 3 years and 11 months. And at the time, my father, I was the only child. He was nuts that I went in, and because of Vietnam had stopped, and then I went in. He thought I was out of my mind. And he was telling me, you got to get out. You're crazy. And I said, but I'll be coming home, Dad. I'll be in Newport. And my father was so against it, and I was like kind of having a tough time deciding what to do. And then I wound up getting out. And the funny part of it is, Dave, I collected unemployment. So You could collect unemployment when you get out of the military, and I don't know if you can now. 6 months goes by. Now, I had passed up $16,000. Kind of a funny story now. I go to unemployment. Used to have to go in there and sign something. They pay it. So I go in Providence. The lady says, Mr. Perrotta, we've overpaid you the last 6 months.
Oh,
She said,
boy.
let me calculate what you have coming today. So I said, okay. So she's on the computer, on the calculator for a few minutes. She says, okay, today we can give you $2. $2. I'm 22 years old. 6 months before, I passed up $16,000 to reenlist. After taxes, I would have got 12 or 13 grand. A lot of money back then. Houses were like 30 grand. I could have bought a new car, put a down payment on a house. There I am in unemployment in Providence with $2. So I called my mother. I'll never forget, I got on the payphone, put a nickel in or not. Called my mom. I said, Mom, what's wrong with this picture? 6 months ago, they want to give me 16 grand. Unemployment, overpaid me. They want to give me $2 today. Honest to God. I was like, I thought I made a mistake at that point.
Did you like the Navy when you were in 4 years?
Yeah. There was I had some of the best friendships in my life. The traveling was awesome. The food was not so great, but
Yeah.
I met just a lot of great people, so a lot of great places, and I enjoyed it. But it's kind of tough when your time's up. You kind of want to. What's that?
I said it probably makes you grow up a lot too, if you're a little bit of a punk.
I mean, looking back, it was the best thing I did because I was 18. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't really want to go to college. So I went in the Navy, and looking back, it was the best thing I did. And then when I left there and I had the $2, I wound up applying for a job at the prison, which I didn't want to be a correctional officer. But it was kind of fluke the way that happened. I was in my uncle's garage. He was fixing my car, and his old partner came in, and he worked at the prison. And he was telling me the pay at the time was, the starting pay was $15,000 on a night shift. And in the Navy, I was making $5,000 a year in 1980 when I got out. So $15,000, I was tripling my salary.
Yep.
I said, you know what? I don't want to be a correctional officer. I'll go there. I'll work there a year or two, and then I'll figure out what I want to do. And then I went there, and the next thing you know, the time goes by, you start working overtime, and the next thing I know, I had 36 years and I retired. So I didn't expect to go there.
Did you go right in as a correctional officer, or did you go in as doing something else in there first?
I went in right as we went through the academy, and went through the academy. I'll never forget the day I had to exercise and run a mile or two and do all that.
You're anti-exercise. You're anti-exercise.
I went out drinking the night before and went to bed at 2:30 in the morning. Got to be there at 7:30 in the morning, and I'm running. I'll never forget. I got done running. I went in the bathroom. I got sick. I was hurting.
Oh yeah.
I was crazy, man. Well, the Navy was back then. Drinking was in. That's the way it was. You know what I mean? We'd pull in a port. We'd go party. Everybody would drink. Yeah, we were young, and.
Well, there were guys who were from all over the country too, right?
Yeah, I had buddies. I got a really good. I've kept in touch, and we get together now and then. My buddy from California, Rusty. My buddy Steve, he's up in Maine now. My other buddy, Teddy, Teddy's in Maryland and in New Jersey, and Norm is in Maryland. So I get to see him once in a while. We all get together,
That's a great thing. That's a good story. I like that. And then you went to Roger Williams, right? You went to Roger Williams.
Yeah, I got it. Then when I got out of the Navy and I started at the prison, I went to Community College of Rhode Island for law enforcement, and then I transferred over to Roger Williams University, and I wound up getting a bachelor's degree in administration of justice with a minor in business, which I think helped me with the comedy because I took marketing, I took different courses in business that I think helped me with the business end of it,
Yeah, and nobody killed you while you were at the prison. I'm glad you're out of that place. That was a lot of stress on you too.
Yeah, it could be a stressful environment, Yeah,
That's
I'm glad I got out of it, especially with the COVID going on, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
Well,
another
yeah,
song? You got another song you can hit us with, Dave?
Another song. Let me see. Want to sing a nice song?
Do your prison one first.
My prison song. Let me think of a good prison song. This is from Cool Hand Luke.
You know the one when you're trying to.
The prison song. That's right.
The prison song.
I get it now. Yeah.
I was gonna kick out of
yeah.
that.
I'm getting out of prison today. That's the song. I'm getting out of prison today. Here it goes. Well, we'd like to thank John for having me. Show me the way to go home, Johnny. I'm tired. It's only 8 o'clock. I had a little drink. You don't drink no more. No drinks for you. And it went right to my head, wherever I may roam. I like that story you told one time about the poor kid. Didn't one of you guys try to get on the ship and lost his life, right? He climbing up
Yeah,
the thing.
a good friend of mine, yeah.
Oh, that's not even funny. Sorry, I don't know what made me think of that. Sorry. Yeah? You will always hear me singing a song. Show me the way to go home. Hey, John, thanks for having me.
Dave,
And it was great talking to you.
what do you got coming up? You said you had a gig coming up this Friday?
Friday night, I'm going to be at the Old Colonial Cafe in Norwood, Mass. It's a nice place. They got it all set up, tents outside. A guy named Paul Angelo, not Paul D'Angelo. Paul Angelo owns it. He's an old guy. He was a big hockey star in the day. Really nice guy. You know what makes him great? He feeds me on the arm.
You like that, huh?
Feeding on the arm. Even better, I went to tip the waitress, and he told me, he got mad at me. So it was totally on the arm. You know what on the arm is, right? I don't know. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know me, how I used to eat at the gigs. That's how I put all the weight on. I'd eat supper. I'd eat supper at home. I'd go to a gig a couple hours later, eat something there, and a couple hours later, I'm getting hot wieners in Oneyville.
And by the way, every Thursday I do Thirsty Thursdays from 6 to 7 p.m. I actually just play the guitar and sing, no jokes. And I've been getting a lot of people. A couple of times I had like 700-800 people tune in.
That's on your Facebook, right?
Yeah, on my Facebook, Dave Andrews, funny musician.
Just Dave Andrews, funny musician.
Yep. And just play, no goofing around. Just try to give people some music. I don't even stick the Venmo in there. I don't want to make people pay. So it's pretty good. Anyhow, it's good to see you.
Tell me a couple of jokes before you go. I love your one-liners. Give me a couple of one-liners.
I don't know. You got to get me in the right mood. I haven't done comedy in so long. I don't even know what the hell to say.
I know, right?
Grandmother jokes, My grandfather's Italian, nice guy, really good guy. I asked him one time. I said, "Gramps, is it true you can get AIDS from toilet seats?" And he said, "Only if the guy who wanted the seat before you don't get up before you sit down." A little nuts.
I always remembered that one. You're crazy, Dave.
Yeah, and another guy died. He went to hell. He was very, very afraid. He went down to hell. His buddy says, "You drink?" He says, "Yeah, you're gonna love Mondays. We do shots of Jack Daniels. You do drugs? Yeah, you're gonna love Tuesdays. We shoot heroin, sniff coke, we smoke joints." He said, "You gay?" He said, "No, you're not gonna like Wednesdays." He's a good laugh track too. I only got one guy and he's laughing. John will laugh all the time. I remember we were watching Tom Carter, that big show we were on, raising money for the firefighters, and he nudged me and he went, Davey, this guy's funny. I don't laugh at too many people. This guy's funny."
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were in that show. That was the station fire benefit at Stitches. I remember it was you, me, Bob Seibel, Paul D'Angelo, Tom Carter, Al Duchamp, I think PJ. Larry Norton, Charlie Hall. It was a heck of a show.
I think PJ Thibodeau was on it, or Al Duchamp, right? The other one I remember you with, we did it was either, my hat, when they stole my hat, right?
Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. I was at Hooters. John had me at Hooters. What man wouldn't like to play at Hooters, right? And toward the end of the show, these three young guys come up and they're kind of staring at me. And one charges the stage and he rips my hat off my head and runs out the door. And we stopped the show and went looking. They had a car waiting for him. It's like a getaway car, stealing my $12 Target hat.
I'll never forget that. You're on stage. The guy runs by, grabs your hat, takes off. Well, like, I couldn't believe that.
But John, being the good guy he is, took up a collection, passed another hat around, and I wound up getting like 40 or 50 bucks. I bought a new hat. Plus,
did you?
Yeah.
Did you? I didn't remember that. Did I? Yeah.
You know, one other story I was thinking of. I remember. We won't mention the comic's name. I don't even know if he's doing it anymore. But he was with Dane Cook with the Monkees, and I had him down there. It was either at Dave's Marketplace.
Dave's Bar and Grill. We talked about that recently.
Oh my gosh! And we had and there was some. He got on stage.
Were you there that night? Were you there that night?
Yeah. He was.
He lost me the room. He lost me the room.
He was using the C word, which is the worst, and he was using the N word, which was really bad. And there was some of those people of those persuasions in the front row. A guy had the hat like me and a gold tooth, and he got off stage, and he had to go through the kitchen. And you're like, Davey, get! I don't even want to see the guy. I don't even want to see him. Get him out of here.
That night. I was so upset. And the next day, the owner called me and he said, and we had been there about a year and a half. We were having a ball there. And and the next day, the owner called me. That's it. I tried to get back in there a few times through the years, but Al Del Bene lost me that room.
There you go. You said it. All right. So I was on a show with him the next night in my hometown in Woburn, the country club.
Oh, yeah?
And I had him, and we were upstairs, and it was poorly attended. Like, we didn't get a lot of people, so they went down in the bar, and he's standing there, and he says to me, Dave, I really thank you for keeping me on the show, because he thought I was going to bag him because of what happened the night before. I said, no. I said, just don't say C and don't say N. And he went, okay. And, we did the gig, and I don't think I saw him much after that.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy that night. Yeah,
no, you were a little grouchy.
Last I knew, he was in Australia, which is a good place for him. Hope he stays out there.
Was he doing stand-up?
I guess he moved out there. I don't know how, and I think he does comedy out there.
I remember he was handsome, and I do remember he had a very good-looking girlfriend. I don't know why I remember that, but I remember that. Yeah. And him going out to the kitchen, they were going to really, really mess him up, man. They were going to give him a beating.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. He went out through the kitchen.
I helped him. I helped him get out. I said, get out. Go this quick. Hurry up. Get in your car. Get out of here quick.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That whole thing was ridiculous, man. I've been doing this 29 years. That was probably one of the worst nights of my 29 years.
Yeah, it was a little tense.
Yeah, you don't do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
No, you don't. Unless you're Dice Clay or Sam Kinison, you get away with that shit, maybe. But even that, it's not good. No.
Hey, Davey, I know you 25 years. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of gigs. I hope we do get to do at least a few more.
I feel like this is my funeral, Johnny. What are you? It's my funeral.
I want to get back on stage. I want to do some more shows with you, brother.
I know. Sounds good.
I want to do some more shows.
Me too. I want to work.
Yeah.
I don't like getting this government money.
I don't think it's going to be until sometime next year before they get a vaccine, before there may be scattered shows. You'll get one here or there. But before it comes back, like I had the dinner shows, it'll be at least next year, maybe later.
Yeah. I don't know. I might have to go back to my old job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's that? Did you ever have an old job, Dave?
I waited a long time for that. My straight man. Oh, Jesus.
But
I used to put get well cards in boxes of Tampax. Anyhow, no.
You're a good man, Dave.
I'm trying.
A lot of laughs with you. Look forward to working with you again.
Johnny.
We'll always enjoy your company. We always had a lot of laughs, and
Good. Stay well.
Yeah, stay healthy.
Don't die.
Not for a while.
All right.
All right, Dave. I love you, brother.
Love you too. See you, pal.